Welcome to DuoLinguish, our favorite place to say the shit we can't fit in a carousel. I'm Desiree, a 6'2" Splenic Projector, multidimensional strategist, dreamwalker, and Devoted Tantrika.
And I'm Cami, a 2'4" Emotional Projector, embodiment alchemist, and walking proof that pleasure heals.
Together, we built SoulSync not just to serve, but to shift.
This is a business of devotion, co-creation, and cosmic remembering.
Everything we do is rooted in generational healing, sacred wealth, and realignment with the truth that power is never meant to be hoarded, it's meant to be shared.
This podcast is where we speak the language behind language.
Where we drop transmissions that stir your bones, challenge your programming, and invite your leadership to evolve.
We're not here to teach. We're here to transmit.
And if you're listening, you've already been invited to the collective becoming.
Whatever work you've been doing on your own mental talk, that's what you're trying to come out of you so that we can now treat others in this same loving manner that we've been attempting to treat ourselves without people pleasing, without coming at it from this lack and abandonment, of course.
Yeah. I think we all really idealize the idea of building something with a partner, whether it's your best friend or a lover or even just another coach, co-creator friend that you're really close to and you guys do vibe with, until it requires the devotion that we go deeper into the agreement and then go deeper into the agreement again and again and again. And every time I meet myself deeper, I have to be willing to now show you this deeper part of myself until we face ourselves through the other person, right? That's what we mean, is the other person is simply the mirror.
Honestly. I think our main roles for navigating power, pressure, and presence is for sure, number one, taking that time right now for ourselves, making sure that we get that time for stillness, making sure that we are doing our best to display what we need to display, keeping our routines, and talking to each other when they fluctuate. Now, we are not rigid people. We are very flowy people. I'm even flowier than she is. Yeah. And so it's on some things, it's very interesting.
She's like, I need structure. And I'm like, yes. When she asks me for structure, like Fritz out, I'm like,
what do you mean? I need loose structure for certain things. But when it comes to once this template is created, there's infinite flexibility around it. So I think the idea is to keep your commitments, and when the commitment needs to fluctuate, fucking talk about it. Just talk about it. Yeah. Even if it seems trivial, even if you think the person won't care, even if every single time they really don't care, talk about it. Just what's going to change, even if it's something minuscule. And it's not necessarily it doesn't need to come from this anxiety. It doesn't need to come from this place of, if I make this decision without them, they're never going to speak to me again. It's that you're both fucking business partners.
Yeah.
And you don't need to be making decisions without the other one. Right? Because you're fucking business partners. Yeah. It's two brains. That's why we're here. So again, when we start doing that, we start coming back to this competitive, where I just think that this is... Now, it's one thing if the other person is explicitly like, with this, I trust you, and whatever you choose to do, fuck it, wholeheartedly, I'm in.
For instance, different. When it came to pricing our offers, Cami's like, ooh. Ooh. I don't know, help.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't mean that she can't, and I'm not mad that she can't. Like, it's just, this just comes from our own paths of experience and embodiment.
And for us to make decisions together, both being projectors, I think for us it's for me it's imperable. It's imperable. It's imperable. It's incorrigible. It's imperative. It's imperative, and if it's not done, it's incorrigible. It's imperative that we talk about decisions. Yeah. So, she says her side, I say my side, and the idea is that we're going to talk until the frequency matches, right? Until we both feel we essentially arrive at the same decision. But this is by sort of talking and tailoring and filtering out, whatever. But the idea is to merge. It's not about one or the other. It's to somehow merge the decision, merge the topic so that both can be on the same page of agreement. As much as we can, especially when it comes to business decisions. When it comes to these things, we do want to be aligned. Yeah. We want it to be, we talk a lot about things being a fuck yes. It should be that way for both. Yeah. If it is a fuck yes for one and a fuck no for the other, it doesn't work. You need something else. And there's no need to try to convince one or the other, because at this point, you're just doing a lot of work for no reason, and now we've stepped into this self-serving role.
And honestly, it's actually very helpful that she is also a projector, because I know that when she does make suggestions and things, it's coming from a lot of the same drive internally as me, right? So when she says things maybe about a certain way that I'm writing or a certain way that something is being presented, and especially now at this point, we've just done so much internal work around it. But I don't take it personally. I'm deprogramming, like I said, right? I'm deprogramming right now. There's a lot that comes out naturally that is not actually how I feel or believe or how I want to speak anymore. It's been conditioned. And so when she mirrors something back to me that she may not feel in alignment with, it's actually an opportunity for me to check in and be like, am I actually in alignment with this though? And there's not been a time where like it hasn't been true that like I was just off of my own frequency, even from the conditioning, right? And so it's like, again, coming back to that competition piece, instead of taking what she's saying as a personal attack or as it being wrong or her knowing better or whatever we tell ourselves, right? No, she is me. And so she's giving me a different mirror, a different channel of myself to also honor.
Yeah. I think that's the gift that I know, that I feel confident about being able to offer. It's just the gift of give me what it is and let me see it and let me blow it up for you and let me see what you're not seeing. Let me hear what maybe you're not hearing, and then allow me to present it to you so that you have more to look at.
Yeah. I tend towards, as a 6, leading with my 6, I tend towards the big vision, the big picture, where the expansion or evolution I desire to create from this thing that I want to do. And Cami, leading with her 2, really specializes in magnifying the picture and like, okay, where are we missing bridges to certain things? Where do we need more flow? Where are we still being rigid? Where are we not structured enough?
And this is where that structure is weird.
Yeah. Strange, because again, it sounds like I'm the one who's more structured, right? Like based on our 3D definitions.
Yes. In the human design, my outer vision is the best sense, which if you don't know, what that means is that you bring me a problem and I can see somehow the steps of what will be helpful for you to do. You bring me a thing you want to do, you bring me a problem, and I can see what needs to happen out here for you, what you need to verbalize, what you need to let go of, what you need to do here for you to get to where you say you want to be. And that has been interesting because I tell myself that I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. You see, I tell myself that I'm super shitty at navigating the physical plane, which, hello, can you hear that?
Yeah.
That's what I tell myself, okay? And so it has created problems. But this is, in my personal life, this is what I am working currently on deprogramming this. Because it's not really true.
And those are usually our gifts. The things that like we help everybody else with, and we're like, but it's not gonna work like that for me.
I'm like, it's not a gift.
It's not a gift. And it's so funny actually that is It's funny that can be sometimes the innate energy that she feels about it, because then I come in and like this is where like our gene keys also come into play. My life's purpose, I lead with a 15 gene key, so my life purpose is to help take the collective from dullness, the shadow of dullness, to the city, which is like
SIDDHI.
yes, thank you. I was gonna spell it. It's a lot of brain work. The city is fluorescence. And so I'm literally here to help brighten the world, right? Mm-hmm. And when I think of it in our relationship specifically on an intimate level, I think of Cami can be because she's so intimate with things, she can get very lost in the misery or the dullness or the despair. And because I'm a big picture person and I'm this dreamy in between realms all the time, I'm like, hey, but wait, come up here, come look at what we're building, come look. And she's like, oh yeah. Oh my god. Yes. But that's where our gifts, that's where they benefit each other, right? Because we really do. We've been talking about it so much lately, but where the other is moving through shadows, the other self has moved through them quite a bit, and so we're able to really kind of help the other one with these more unfamiliar shadows until we get to know them.
Yeah, and the more time you spend with one person, this should be the pattern that you notice.
Yeah.
Because they are you. And so you're just constantly flowing in and out of these sort of cycles together.
Yeah. And this is where it gets wild, because when we talk about like the future,
the way of the future,
the new Earth that everybody's talking about, the Earth elevating into 5D right now, right? The field is expanding. We're all so excited for this evolution. But when we talk about the ways we have been doing things,
we gotta die.
Woo! And I'm still in the death portal. I'm just gonna claim it. I'm still in the death portal. We're still mid-death. But I am coming to a place where I have more words for what's happening inside. And it's been a deep death of leadership practices that have been misaligned for me the entire time. And me trying to make them fit and contorting my body and my soul and my words and my visions and my everything to try to make it make sense. So when we talk about the future of leadership, it's not supposed to make sense in the 5D, not in the ways that we've been taught, right? And so deprogramming, yes, how we do business, but how we lead, how we see ourselves as leaders, how we pedestal ourselves as spiritual leaders. This is a real thing that we do when we have these big awakenings, especially in the coaching. No more. And that's the future of our leadership. So I'm speaking specifically to those of you who desire to lead and heal and be these trailblazers in the 5D as we elevate. We have to really release these 3D ways of doing business and leadership. And you gotta be willing to die, you guys. We gotta be willing to go where they told us not to go. We gotta be willing to be messy with our content creations. So it's silly shit that seems so small, but it's been so programmed. Everybody sounds the same. Right now, I cannot get online without everything sounding the same, everything looking the same. People have the same even story flow. I can count 1, 2, 3. I know when you're going to switch me. I know when you're taking me. I know what you're going to sell to me before you even name it, even if it's something new.
It's called copy. Because it's called copyright. It's called copy. That's why.
That's the thing.
And see, everyone's trying to learn how to sound authentic using copy. That's why they're all going nuts. Because that already,
it's conflictive as fuck.
It's called copy.
And we're using sales psychology to write our transmissions.
Yeah. No. A transmission isn't trying to sell you something. It's trying to transmit wisdom.
Trying to transmit the frequency, man. I'm just trying to get you the message.
It's not a transmission. It's a sales. It's sales.
Yeah.
It's a sales video. It's a sales pitch.
Let's call it what it is.
Please.
So
Please.
when we talk to the leaders and the healers and the visionaries, we know that there's a lot of you listening to this. This is not about competition. This is co-leadership and co-creation, but this is also the energy that it requires to step into this collective frequency that we're desiring, not just in business, but in life, just in general.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. One thing I wish people knew about this kind of sacred partnership is really being conscious about how much you have to die to yourself, which is for sure the thing that I'm most proud of you about is that willingness to you're welcome. It's that willingness to die every day to the aspects of yourself that are no longer serving what you want to do. And this is continuous. Like there will come a time where the fucking 5D aspect of myself is no longer, because understand that the 4D aspect of yourself, your heart is so open. That's exactly why it's so hard to not save everybody all the time. That's why your nervous system,
your own feelings and your own desires and what you are yearning for, because your heart is so fucking open to everybody,
to everything.
That's how we are as healer people. We're heart-led. Yeah. And so we also have to protect ourselves.
Honest. Knowing when it's time to die is knowing when it's time for something to die, something to be shed. It's imperative in any type of sacred partnership of any type. And then you must be willing to die, because that is how you show your love and devotion, not just to yourself. It's the evolution of self, therefore the evolution of creation, the evolution of all. You must be willing to die. We must be willing to shed these layers that are no longer serving us. It's not about literally dying.
Yeah.
It is about shedding these pieces that cannot live here anymore. Mm-hmm. They won't vibrate. They can't vibrate here. Yeah. It will drive you crazy. Yeah. Please.
Yeah. And in a similar tone, I think similarly, the one thing I wish people knew about this kind of partnership is the devotion that it takes. This type of relationship is not for we're not meant to have these kind of intimate relationships with everybody. Mm-mm. Imagine if you had this intimacy with 8 billion people. What? Ooh, my channel immediately is like
exhausted. I think that's exactly why that one. You seen the documentary Mother?
Yes.
Yeah, that's why
she died, because she was literally taking on everybody's shit and trying to do it in her own channel. And this is one of my personal gene key lessons, is to not try to do shit by myself.
Yes.
And that takes devotion, because I'm an independent woman who don't need nobody, right? As we talked about, nobody. But letting that part of myself devote as well, not die, because this is where it gets interesting when we talk about death, right? She doesn't need to die. That part of myself gets to devote, just like every other part of myself. Mm-hmm. She's making the same devotion, that no matter how hard this is, no matter how shaky it feels, no matter if I know what to say or not, mm-hmm. because I am a more external processor, I can be a little more messy when I come into the relationship with things. Mm-hmm. And also letting that be okay as well.
These sort
just
of
being so devoted to what I see as the vision and the outcome on the other side. Mm-hmm. And not just for myself, but for her, for the people around us, if there's other people or situations involved. And I mean, this is the future of co-creation for the collective, for everybody, whether we're healers or leaders, no matter how we identify, because these are all identities, right? Mm-hmm. But the collective as a whole, because the earth is raising her frequency as a whole, these are the conversations that we're going to need to start having with each other. And not just in our closest relationships either, but when we talk about holding people through their own alchemy. I adore all of our client relationships right now. We don't have a ton of clients right now. But the clients we do have,
they're fantastic.
and we've set up, I'm just like, this is one of the things they're proud of. And it's both of us that have done it. Of course, I want to just give her the credit. But it is just where she shines. When we come into that first call, there are certain energetic agreements that happen that don't ever have to be explained. Mm-hmm. And we know that we are coming into a space that is for real authentic, that is for real raw. Mm-hmm. We're going to find out shit we thought we never knew. Yeah. And we're going to remember. And this is what the collective needs right now. We need to remember so that we can exist in this 5D plane. Because otherwise, you're going to feel like you're losing your mind. That is what it feels like to be out of frequency, to be in the wrong field when you're the way my hands are.
Literally the way they look.
I know. When you're vibrating on a certain frequency, but your environment is so much.
They're like, oh,
that's what the collective needs little mushrooms. So that we can all be in the same frequency. And we got you. You know where to find us.
Okay, not everybody.
Not everybody.
But everybody would benefit from the frequency.
Yes.
Which, hey, we're here already.
Exactly.
So learn to stabilize.
We just live on it.
Yeah. Learn to stabilize. That's part of why people are losing it.
Yeah.
Because the frequency is a bit more psychedelic here now. Yeah. And if you are not vibrating, it's just feels disruptive.
Like
it just feels disruptive. Everything feels amplified. The chaos will feel amplified. But, my friend, the love, the purity, the light that is happening is also amplified. So what I beg of you is to be intentional about what you are tuning into, please, because that is what you will see more of. So if you want to see more light, if you are tired of hearing screams and fucking death, you must turn away from screams and death. And it is time you can allow yourself to grieve this, allow yourself to feel impotent, allow yourself to display the impotence, but turn to the joy. Turn to the light. Turn to lightness. Things that make you feel light. Yeah. Laugh.
This is the real ancestral work, by the way.
Yes.
We talk about generational wealth. This is generational wealth. Me devoting to the processes and the inner workings that it requires for the next generation, whether I have children or not. And I think this is also too where we can get real tricky, right? Like, well, how am I passing it on if I'm not sharing my DNA? Because we are transmuting cycles upon cycles upon cycles of epigenetic oppression and trauma. So whether I'm related to that person or not, the next generation won't have to deprogram the way I do.
Yeah.
There's going to be the way that people do business in 30 years from now, like the new leaders that come, the kids that are being born today that are going to come into the sphere when they're 530. It's going to be wild. They're going to be blowing our minds.
They're literally
We're
like...
Be 60 years old, like, what the
Bro, they're like, they really embrace Michael Jackson's song.
They are going to be the world. They are. And they're going to call us. This is where, again, right? Being leaders, if we want to be leaders, we also have to be open to remaining the student always, because they're going to come in and open us up to whole new ways of thinking and being and feeling that we aren't used to yet. And we think we're trailblazers right now. But like, they're going to
no.
It's going to be wild.
They're here to show us new paradigms. Yes. Because we have created a safer space for them to be here.
They have foundations to create differently now.
The planet is at a higher vibration, making the children that are born at a higher vibration. And we have done the work to elevate. We've been working at this since like what, the 60s, 70s? Come on, you guys. We've been working at this hard. Yeah. And here it's working.
Here we go.
So these children are now, the earth is in a place where they can handle the vibration of the earth. The earth can handle their vibration for these beings to be born. We're the people that were talked about in some of these books in the 60s and 70s. And so now we're like, well, history repeats itself, and we're nothing. Like, we're cool. But
we're great. We're doing
it
great.
means that this generation is outstanding.
Oh my god.
And so the idea is for us to be able to hold this vibration. So many people our age, the women that want to have these types of little beings, I want to hold you. I want to help you be able to hold this being and not be afraid of yourself for not even, I don't even want you to think that you would ever, or anything could ever convince you, anything in your nervous system could ever convince you that you would be capable of perpetuating any type of trauma to your best degree. We understand that life itself is traumatic enough.
Exactly. Life is trauma.
Life is trauma. So what we're trying to do is help guide these kids through the shit that's already going to happen to them. So there's no need in perpetuating more. So what I want is to help people just be so confident in their ability to hold these little creatures. Their ability to know that they will have answers if they are stuck. When they don't know what to do, they will have answers. And you have infinite capacity to hold these little creatures. And you have infinite capacity to allow yourself to be taught by them. And you co-create with them as well. So it's like really expanding this idea of what even having children means. And golly, like that's gonna be crazy.
We'll have a different episode about that. But for sure, that is the generational wealth, liberation, pleasure, the things we talk about, right? It's that. It's this devotion. It has nothing to do with the money. The money will be great, and the money is going to help us shift the 3D in the ways that we need to, right? But the real wealth is in these
Liberation.
Emotional alchemies that we're willing to walk through, not just for the betterment of ourselves, but the betterment of the collective,
the whole world.
Yeah, because we are them, they are us. We're just mirrors. You are me, I'm you, we are we,
and we're doing it.
And we're doing it. Man, we really are. This was a good episode. We're probably gonna chop this bad boy in two because we went double overtime. But it was worth it.
This was a good episode.
Yeah, this was great.
We knew it was gonna be
a long one, honestly. Yeah. So, I think everything that we talked about today, though, was imperative before we move forward, because this is how you guys really get to know us, and just us side of SoulSync.
Yes.
Yeah.
Us as people and in general. So, thank you guys for being here today.
Thank you so much. Same voice.
Same vortex.
You know when to press play.
Bye.